Got that, just giving himself a little bit of room. He started moving before the bowler had bowled, so this was a premeditated shot, and he just stroked it. Didn't really even hit it that hard through the ball, and away for a couple of bounces and 4. Really, really classy shot. I really enjoy watching him bat.
Mm-hmm. Yanaman facing, the next one is just over the bowler's head. Oh my word, what did we do to deserve this?
You will not see a better straight drive than that. Just like even paused for the photographers with a high elbow at the end. He is seeing the ball as big as a beach ball today.
Oh wow,
what
look
a good
at
shot.
that. Oh, I'm sure some of the IPL teams are looking at that shot, hoping that I'll be hoping that that shot is one of a guy who they've missed, and they'll be lamenting themselves because you needed Yanaman.
He's an interesting one. I mean, I'd be surprised if he ever did get an IPL contract, but I fear that he might be one of those guys who will end his career as one of the sort of great overlooked players. And he's always on the edge of the Proteas team.
Yeah, so and if you think about it, across all 3 formats, in the test format, he's behind his brother, who's also behind Aiden and Dean. In the ODI format, you've got Quinton and Aiden to fight off, but I think he's got a shot in that because I think we should give him an opportunity over Aiden. And then in the T20 side, he's fighting for a spot with Temba, who's cemented, and then you've got Quinton de Kock on the other end. So it's pretty hard.
There's an interesting little COVID wrinkle to this game, which I haven't seen before, is that the security guards around the ground have sidearms. That's
what they're called. We were trying to figure out what those are. Those scoopy things that you throw. Yeah, sidearm. Okay.
Well, the brand is a sidearm, and it's such a good name that absolutely it's like Hoover now.
Okay, so after that break, Shaheen gives balls a dot ball now to Yanaman, who just could only play that out to point for no run. But that's the other COVID problem, is that balls get lost, and security guards have to go searching for a little white ball.
So this is where I was going with that, was that I haven't seen it before. All the security guards have sidearms. For those who are interested in the technicalities of it, it is the white pro one that you can throw very, very hard with. And they're using that to pick the ball up. Wow.
Oh, baseball all the way. It was short, it was just wide, and it was pulled over, you would call it cow corner, but it went straight to the net. I've never seen a front foot pull as beautiful as that. That's just insane.
He is batting beautifully today.
It's like he's on the batter's mound and he just received. Well, most batters would let that ball go because it was shoulder height. It's above the box. But this one he just laid into, and it's just so beautiful, unbelievable. Yanaman he's on a rampage. Shaheen comes around the wicket this time and tries to cramp Yanaman for room, and he gets a dot ball to end that over 16 off of that over, and the score now is 28 without loss.
Yeah, I actually watched a video last night, in fact, of I think it was Alex Hales and Josh Butler. They'd gone and visit some baseball team somewhere. And I mean, that was exactly like a baseball shot, just flat batted it through the line. And I think it's something that, it's certainly changed since my day of learning to bat, where you really, that sort of shot would be frowned upon entirely. When I look at the sort of coaching that my daughter gets now, it's far more about getting bat to ball than it is about where your elbow is.
Nawaz bowling into Aiden Markram, and he looks all at sea with that ball. It was pitched outside off stump. He tried to manufacture a shot. I'm going to call these shots voucher shots and I'll tell you guys why after this. But he's trying to lap it or sweep it, a power sweep, but he just missed it entirely. Luckily, it was outside the off stump. And yeah, so then nothing happened there. It was just a dot ball, but some cause for concern, because if I'm starting to see the Boucher shots come out, it tells me that there's a problem. This next ball's played out to the fielder on the rim for a quick single. So Boucher keeps on telling us that he's teaching his players shots that they would use to accelerate the run rate or be aggressive or whatever it is. And what I've seen so far is lap shots and lap sweeps and ramps. And so that's what I'm calling, because I wouldn't. It feels as though he's trying to manufacture those in his game. The next ball from Nawaz is a beautiful one outside the off stump, drawing Yanaman forward, and just it left him just at the right time. It just turned a little, and it was just a very, very beautiful ball from Nawaz. And next ball, just going down with the arm, and Yanaman decides to play that to the leg side for another quick single. Sorry, shouldn't be playing that.
This has been a phenomenal start by the South African opening pair. 30 without loss now. Almost all of that, the workings of Yanaman Malan. 24 of 15 now. Markram, who is facing 6 of 7.
So Markram gives himself room, can't pierce the field. Oh, they do because of a misfield. Don't run on a misfield, but they do. And so they take another single. So the score goes up to 31. That's the one thing I want to see is that I get Aiden may be struggling in T20s, but the one thing I'd like for him to do early on is rotate the strike, because that's what makes Timber and Quinton de Kock's relationship so great, is that they have this symbiotic relationship where they just know when to take a run. Oh my word, next ball in, it's an LBW shout. It went on with the arm, hitting Yanaman on the back
Has
leg.
been given.
And
Wow.
Adrian Holstock gives it out, and he was stuck in the crease. It hit him very late. He tried to cut it and he missed it. And I don't know if he's going to take the DRS. So that's a big, big call for Yanaman. He has to hope that ball is missing leg entirely.
My initial feel was a little high, but I didn't actually see where it hit him. I just sort of looked at the angle of the.
I don't know if he's going to take the DRS. So that's a big, big call for Yanaman. He has to hope that ball is missing leg entirely.
My initial feel was a little high, but I didn't actually see where it hit him. I just sort of looked at the angle of the delivery, but it wasn't one of those that looked gun out immediately. So
He was coming down the wicket to that. It was thrown wide, and to actually manufacture a back cut from that takes some skill. In comes Chahal, swept this time. Is he going to get more runs? He's certainly going to get one. Maybe thinking of coming back for a second. They say no, and so they just settle for that single. 119 for 3. 1 ball remaining of Chahal's spell, and he's not really been at his best today, it has to be said.
Good hands, as they say, from Nishan. Nishan.
Of the delivery, but it wasn't one of those that looked gun out immediately. So it'll be
to try play with either a horizontal bat or that 45 bat that takes you through the covers and everything else, and that kind of it hindered South African batsmen from looking for runs compared to subcontinental or even the Fab Four, where the Fab Four look for runs everywhere they use their wrists. They move they manipulate the field to try to look for singles and fours, whereas you get guys like Aiden who just live on cover drives. And that was one of the points as we see Usman Khadir start his spell of the match, and he bowls a full toss that gets slapped in between the fielders behind square to the point boundary for 4.
Okay, so we have sorted out the issue on TuneIn. Sorry, I had forgotten to go back to the software that pushes out our broadcast to TuneIn when we had the problem with the Mac earlier. So yeah, I mean, luckily we've got Dave, Coach Dave, coming in after the break, and it'll be a good question to ask him.
Oh yes, Usman Khadir again. It's a shorter ball, and Aiden Markham plays into that, and it goes to the point boundary. This time a lot in front of square. Just beautiful batting from Aiden Markham in this first KFC T20. It was a rank short ball, and yeah,
but
Usman
very easily fielding as well. I mean, at this level, I'm not sure who it was down at.
It was Hassan Ali at point.
Then. Really, he. At sweeper, the guy who dived over it?
Yeah, Hassan Ali.
Was it Hassan Ali? Okay.
This one was... I think Aiden Markham missed out on a full toss there. Went down on one knee to sweep, but he missed it entirely. There was a little bit of a shout. That's why the DRS timer is up. But that's a dot ball, 63 for 2. Yeah,
so, I mean... My immediate gut answer was a massive inside edge onto his body there, so there was no drama. My immediate thought around that, which I'll tell you after this ball,
Kadir into Aiden, who drives this one down the ground. They set off quickly for the first, looking for the second. They can't get it, so that should only be 1. 64 for 2.
Is that South African players, and this is probably true of everywhere, but certainly in South Africa, the Proteas team is overwhelmingly the product of very, very traditional schools.
Kadir to Heino Klaassen, who plays us down to the leg side. They look to go for 2, and they do. It was splitting the fielder at cow corner and the one at long on, so that to just come around and converge, which enabled the South Africans to take the 2, 66 for 2.
So you hear those discussions of particularly Indian and West Indian players saying they learned the game in the streets and of all of the variation that required.
Straight a drive down the ground. They looked for a 2, but they couldn't get one. It's just a single. It's a very good over for the South Africans. It's already now up to 12 with 1. Oh, it is 12. That's the end of that over. 67 for 2.
That's not true of South Africa at all. Every single player that makes it up to Proteas level has been through a private school or one of the very, very high-ranking public school systems. And you probably find that our guys are slightly overcoached as batsmen, and that is why you don't see as much of the variation that you see from certainly West Indian, certainly Indian, or generally, I think, subcontinent players, as you have here. What's interesting to me is the England setup, where they are clearly now coaching things like the reverse sweep, like the ramp, at a much earlier stage than we would have thought beforehand. And we've been looking for a coach recently. And Amy's team coach is a very, very experienced first-class cricketer.
Harris Ralph starting his spell of the match, and the first ball is a short one pulled to the mid-wicket boundary for 6 off of the bat of Heino Klaassen.
Such a confident shot, this. He just rocked back, full face of the flat bat, and slapped it over mid-wicket. I mean, that could have been dismissing your uncle after Christmas lunch. It was that sort of shot. So I'll tell you after this.
Ralph into Heino Klaassen again. This one's a little bit more fuller there, but still pulled, but straight to the sweeper, Hassan Ali there at the square leg boundary for a single.
So it was an interesting experience for me. I mean, Amy is coached by a very, very experienced guy. In fact, I'll even name him, Graham McMillan, who is Brian McMillan's brother. Is a superb coach and a fantastic team manager as well. Really, really good guy. And she said she likes that he is traditional, but she said he's old-fashioned. And
Harris Ralph to Aiden Markram, who somehow gets this ball on the up over the inner field. He had no control over that shot. He came through very, very quickly, but somehow, fortuitously, it landed on its way to the boundary. You can even see him smiling there, laughing with Heino Klaassen because he knew nothing about that one.
And it's been interesting to me. So I've unfortunately, she's in the private school system where there's a bit of an arms race around coaching. And if you're not getting private cricket coaching, you're pretty much behind the curve.
Ralph into Aiden Markram. This one is straight down the ground, down the pitch there, and Harris Ralph tried to field that one. But Aiden Markram he's got his eye in. He managed to hit middle stump on the non-striker's end. So luckily no one's out because Heino Klaassen went back. So the score is 78 for 2.
And her perception is that the coaching that she's getting at club level, which is superb, is too old-fashioned. And she wants someone to teach her to play T20 cricket, basically.
Aiden Markram, this one is too full, and it's a half volley, and he plays this one with a straight drive over the bowler's head for another 6. He takes the score to 44. The South African score is 84 for 2. So far in this over, it's been a 6, a 1, a 4, and a dot and another 4. So a lot of runs coming off this early over from Haris Rauf.
I am loving Aiden Markram here. He's there's not a single shot that he's played today that you couldn't reasonably put into a coaching manual. And this time it was just in the slot, and he slapped his front foot down the pitch and drove through the line.
And then Aiden plays this one down to the leg side. They're only taking a single, and that ends that Haris Rauf over of that is 18 off of that over. So very good over from the South Africans. Got some tweets in here, Simon. Woy Pom says, are they going to fix the wooden seating at the Wanderers? Several benches are missing and it looks like it's falling down. They'll probably do that before the start of the next season. Well, based on the way what happened at the Pink Day and all the sixes that Fakar Zaman put it on there, so did Temba and everybody else, I'd also think they'd want to fix that. And then Mog says, did I hear you say Brian McMillan, one of my all-time favorite cricketers?
Yeah, he was an interesting guy. By all accounts, a really enjoyable guy to play cricket with. I remember.
You played cricket with him?
No, I didn't. But I'm saying by all accounts, he was. Okay. I remember reading an article about sledging, and people saying that he was a particularly difficult guy because he was able to make the batsman laugh rather than get angry.
Aiden Markram, take a bow. He opened up his stance and Usman Kadir bowled a short one into his half, and he just cut that in between the man at a point and that short third man for another 4.
And it wasn't quite going where I think he expected it to. He got a bit of the outside half of the bat there, really threw the bat at it. But it's something that I've noticed, a difference between Aiden's batting here and in Test match cricket, is he is trying to hit the ball much, much harder, even when he's hitting it along the ground.
Yeah, he drives this one down to the sweeper at the point boundary for a 50. That brings up his 50 off 30 balls. Everybody's happy for the one they call Sauce.
Yeah, this is a fantastic innings by Aiden Markram. He goes to 50 off 30 balls. The score for South Africa is 90 for 2. That 50 included 8 4s and the 1 6 that we saw, that straight drive. He really is looking in good nick.
Oh, the flipper coming out now from Kadir is a little bit quicker than normal, and Klaasen managing to get some bat onto that outside the off stump, no run. So I've got 90 for 2, 3 balls into the 10th over. If they don't get to 200 from here, they'll probably be disappointed. It's a really great start from the South Africans. It's a short ball from Kadir, and it's been dispatched to the same stands that Josie Oak is complaining about for another 6.
Yeah, he hit that really, really hard. It's interesting that Josie Oak has noticed that there are wooden benches missing off those stands. He's quite right, actually, looking at it. So clearly what Wanderers has done is use this opportunity to revamp the stands that maybe needed a little bit of tweaking. Those stands, they used to be as rickety as anything. And then they got redone completely about 20 years ago. And I don't think they've been massively overhauled since then. So this is a really, really good opportunity during the pandemic to do a bit of spring cleaning to Wanderers Stadium.
Fuller ball with a little bit of drift into Klaasen, who plays this one to mid-wicket for another single. Josie Oaks saying, where is Ravi at Palfram in a 1-4-1-4 when Markram is batting? And Mog says, yeah, I think Steve Waugh called Macmillan a world-class sledger, which is high praise from Mr. Mental Disintegration. Kadir into Aiden Markram. Aiden plays that with a straighter bat. They take a quick single to the man at point for to end that Kadir over. He's gone for 13 in that second over. He's bowled 2 overs, no wickets for 25, and the South African score at the end of 10 is 98 without loss.
Yeah, so I've never met Brian, but I must tell you, Graham, his I think elder brother, is such a class act. He runs a business that does cricket nets. So he put the one into my carport here that Amy bats on every day, and just he was appointed as the women's coach at Wanderers. Under duress, somewhat. That they desperately needed someone. They couldn't really afford to pay someone, and Graham has been at Wanderers Club for probably 3 decades, and so I think they basically strong-armed him into it, and he has absolutely fallen in love with the women's game and the subtleties required for it. And he said to me, his favorite thing is that the girls actually listen to his coaching, whereas boys generally feel like they know better.
Oh, my word, Aiden Markham edging it to Mohamed Rizwan behind the stumps. He gave himself room, trying to open up the offside, and all he managed to get was a faint edge, and Rizwan needed 2 takes to get that one. Mohamed Nawaz coming back with the golden arm. He's been Pakistan's best bowler, and he gets a wicket.
Yeah, so that is the end of Aiden Markram, 51 of 32 balls. He hit 8 fours and 1 6. And South Africa now, after 10 overs, or 10.1 overs, are 98 for 2. Really quick. No, 98 for 3, rather. Sorry, yes. Carry on.
What's the rule with the ball in the act of catching? It hits your helmet. Because the Pakistani people on Twitter were complaining that there was a wicket that Timber took in the pink day that he caught it, but in the midst of catching it, it came off, it hit the rim of his hat.
Doesn't matter anymore.
So it doesn't matter anymor. Okay. And then there was one thing I wanted to ask you. That Quinton de Kock run out, look at Lex, look at the non-strikers end of Fakar Zaman.
Yes.
Is it fake fielding or is it?
So
there isn't an umpire outside of Barry.
Yeah, I have opinions on this. I have absolutely no doubt that he was trying to con the batsman, because I've seen him do it before. It was a game that we commentated on through December. So I can't remember if it was Sri Lanka or Pakistan when they were out here for the tests. And in that game, what he did was he looked very, very relaxed as the throw was coming in. Like, even to the point, I think, of having his hand on his hip. I think you and I might have even been on air together.
And this one just played out to the offside by Pite van Biljon for a single.
So I know Tabrez Shamsi had a full go on Twitter saying anyone who thinks that he was dissuading the batting team was incorrect and whatever. I have no doubt that Quinton was, because we've seen him do it before. But I do think that it adds to the game, and I think they need to change the law, because I think that type of deception is actually quite cool.
Klaassen takes a single off of Nawaz. This one just going on with the arm down the leg side. So score goes up to 100. South Africa, it's been a while since I've seen South Africa get to 110 in just after 10 overs. It's like, this is like open season now. It's bonus country. Like if we don't get to 200 today, I'd be very disappointed. Nawaz into Pite van Biljon. He drives this one. They take a quick single to the fielder at cover. And so the score keeps ticking on, 101 for 3. I looked at that, and my big point was they were screaming non-strikers in the whole time, but Aiden Markram's throw of 60 meters. Because how was Quinton supposed to know that this thing was going straight to the wicket, to the stumps? This one down the leg side, a single has been taken to the fielder at wide, long on. So that goes 102 for 3. Because you could see Quinton standing behind the stumps screaming non-striker, non-striker, non-striker. He's knowing it's coming to his end, right? And the difference, my thing was that it was dead eye. If he touched it and then he took the bells off, I would then say possibly it was fake fielding, because he knew that. But either way, I just felt like it wasn't that much. Let me just check here. There's a tweet here. Ravi says there's no stream, so he's listening in instead. Oh no. Okay, so I'll tell you what it is. Ooh, edge there to end Nawaz's 4-over spell. No run coming off of it. He's finished his 4 overs, 2 for 21. South Africa 102 for 3. No, so Josie Oak, Ravi replying to Josie Oak saying he has no stream of our game, so he's listening into us instead because they're watching IPL. Yeah. As we saw yesterday, we AB de Villiers, the pantomime villain of the South African cricket team, score some runs and take RCB over the line against another South African, also known as Marco Jansen, a left-arm seamer. So yeah. I honestly feel sorry for Victor Mpitsang and Mark Barcher because they have their work cut out for them to select this 15-man side to go to the World Cup. I suspect there might be some IPL players who might not be going to the World Cup, which is going to be very, very controversial. But we've got a lot of guys who are knocking on this door.
I mean, it's Chris Morris's massive payday is an interesting one for me because he's rated in South Africa. I mean, he's a solid member of the T20 team when he's available. But he's hardly...
Let me just describe this shot. Harris Rauf is continually bowling some really bad balls there, and he's been dispatched by Harry Klaasen to the extra cover boundary. It was just simple. It's more of stand and deliver, nothing much to do about that. It's really disappointing for Barbara Azam.
He's serving pies, and Paul, you can say it. So yeah. I mean, Chris Morris is liked, but he's not even a guy who I would say is inked into our T20 team necessarily.
This one played out to the leg side, looking for 2. The South Africans come back really, really well. Great running and calling from Piet van Biljon to call Harry Klaasen back. And so the score goes up to 108 for 3. So it is quite interesting because you've got Chris Morris, you've got Andile Petrokwayo, you've got Dwayne Pretorius. You've also got the 3 quicks in Anrich, Lungi, and KG. You've got Sisanda Magala, who I would cry if he makes the World Cup squad. And then you've got Marco Jansen, who's new, but he's playing IPL right now, so he's getting that experience in India. Harris Rauf in again, short ball pulled to those Josie Oak stands on those wooden stands on the right, on the eastern side of the ground for 6.
The Josie Oak stands indeed. So the point I'm making is that the fee that Chris Morris has commanded is the sort of fee that you could imagine in, if you were to go back 20 or 30 years, that Brian Lara or Sachin Tendulkar or Jacques Kallis would have commanded. It's really, really strange to me that he, like, that amount of money and that player was what was connected. He's good. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But he's not a guy who I would say any teenager in South Africa necessarily has his poster up on the wall.
No, true, but it's a function of the draft system, right? So if 2 teams have a needed all-rounder and the only available or the highest available all-rounder at the time, and that was the truth, was Chris Morris, they will go gung-ho. And it just ended up in a bidding war. And nobody wanted to let go. And then a 3rd team arrived, and you just sat there going, okay, we see that. Because normally in a draft system, what you do is you would have a vertical list, or you'd have all the positions horizontally, and you'd rank all the players in each position vertically, right? And as people go off the board, you scratch them off. And sometimes you kind of feel that someone like a Chris Morris, because in some IPL teams, we retained a lot of players. And someone like Chris Morris is the guy you need. It just so happened that he was wanted by 2 other teams. And that's what made it. And that's all you need. You need a bidding war for 2 other teams. And if you think about the number 1 T20 batsman in David Malan, he was in a bidding war, but he didn't go for as much money as Chris Morris. And even though if you had to rank David Malan and Chris Morris, David Malan would be higher ranked from like a T20 perspective. So it just depended on who was needing what at the time. Oh, come on, Harris Rauf. This one is short and wide, and punched to the point boundary, just only for a single there, as there was a sweeper, but it was a very bad ball. Pakistan serving up King Pies here in this innings. It's really disappointing. Says,
tweeting. There you go. So he says it's up to the batsman to watch the ball, not watch other people. Nothing wrong with what Quinton did. No, so you see, I agree and disagree with you here, Woy, that Woy and Josie Oak, the same guy, by the way, folks, is that I absolutely think
ball outside the off stump, straight to the fielder at third man for a single.
I absolutely think that Quinton was trying to deceive the batsman, but if you're really purely looking at the laws of cricket, he probably should have been penalised 5 runs. But I think that what he did absolutely should be a part of the game. I think that it's entertaining. It adds something to the sort of skill of the whole game. For me, deception should be more around. Sometimes I see in fact, quite often I see when I'm umpiring, a ball is played out into the covers, and I'll hear the cover fielder yell, "Yes, yes, yes," and unfortunately, that's not enough to penalise the guy for 5 runs, but he's clearly trying to get the batter at the non-strikers end, particularly, to stray out of his crease. That for me is, where you're actually trying to impersonate a batsman, is where that rule should happen. But body language from the keeper, I think it's amazing. I think it's very, very cool.
Kadir resuming his spell, third over. This first one was short and wide, and Pite managing to get to the other side of the other end of the crease for a single, 117 for 3. Next ball in is a half volley by Kadir. It will beat the fielder at the extra cover boundary. It's just unbelievable that a man is bowling this poorly today, because he's normally devastating, but his lines are just off. His lengths are just off, I beg your pardon, and that one just was a half volley, and 4 runs.
Ravi Nair says, 1, no teenager has Chris Morris's pick on the wall because he's ugly, like a roughly carved block of wood. I don't know, Rav.
Short ball from Kadir, played down to the leg side, or too long on for a single. What did you just say? You dated? No.
I would date him. But I have a fairly open mind around at least being able to objectively see attractiveness in men.
He's not that bad looking, though.
I think he's fine. Although clearly not to Ravi's
He's
taste.
no Kohli. He's no Kohli. I'm sorry, Ravi.
Yes.
Oh my word! That was a half volley that Pike thought he could take over down to the leg side, but he couldn't. He just inside edged it onto his boot there for a dot ball.
Or I must tell you, Baba Razan. And then he also says, "I'll tell you after this ball."
Kadir into Pite, who slog sweeps this over the man at deep square leg. It actually is not a slog sweep; it's a conventional sweep with a top edge that flew over the fielder at the square leg boundary, or backward square for 6. Just unbelievable.
It was unbelievable. I mean, he barely got anything on that. It looked like it came off the top edge of the bat, and it just flew and flew and flew. I can tell you right now, Donald Bradman's bat would not have allowed that to go for 6. But
what did you say, Donald Bradman?
Yeah.
And then
or just about anyone's bat pre-1994, I would have thought. In fact, I would say 2010. That was a real big, heavy, modern bat shot.
Yeah, so to end that over, there was a single, 13 again off of Usman's over. So it's 129 for 3 after 13. South Africa in that bonus territory. It's been a while since we've been calm about a South African team playing cricket. And this is
true.
The closest you can get.
Yeah,
let me read. Any run from here is a bonus.
Let me read the second half of Ravi's tweet where he says, Morris has proved his worth as an all-rounder in the IPL time and time again. I have no idea why South Africa don't rate him. And I think, Ravi, you're right. I think that one of the big things about Morris is that he does show up for the IPL. I get a sense that a lot of the players treat it a little bit like a holiday. And maybe aren't as switched on for it as they would be necessarily for playing for their national side. But I do think that Chris Morris has recognized that this is where his future lies. And he is reaping the benefits, and all power to him.
Yeah, but he will be in the South African side. He'll probably start at the World Cup.
I'm not saying he won't. I'm saying that his mental approach and his commitment to the game is as focused in the IPL as it would be for a Proteas game.
Fahim Ashraf starts again with another short ball and pulled square for a single. No, right? Oh well, yeah, one's taken. Sorry.
And I do sometimes get the sense that, particularly late in the season, that you see IPL players coasting. You know, they can't remember which city they're in. They're missing their family, and they're just showing up and sort of dialing it in.
Fahim with a ball outside the off stump has been played down to the man at third man for another single. So 2 singles to start his over. Yeah, but like if Chris Morris doesn't start at the World Cup, then Mark Boucher needs to get his head checked. Essentially, the guys that should be coming back into the side are AB, even though I hate it, but he probably will come back. Chris Morris, Imran Tahir will come back into the side. And then the question is, obviously, with Temba and Quinton and David Miller, who you fit around the rest of the side, and Faf du Plessis as well. So I'm actually feeling quite confident in the side going to the World Cup. Oh, another Boucher shot has come out. It's a ramp shot, and he's ramped it over the fielder at fine leg for 6, and that batsman who I'm talking about is Pite van Biljon. South Africa literally laying into this Pakistani bowling attack like it's just, I don't know, it's they are serving pies, or it's possibly they're in a pie factory and they just keep on serving pies.
So Mog says that Chris Morris seems to have a bit of an aura in the BBL too. I say this without checking his facts, though. So his figures, though. So I have checked his figures, and he's played 15 matches in the BBL, taken 22 wickets, which is phenomenal. 3 for 27 is his best. His economy rate is 8, which is, I suppose, standard. But his strike rate is a wicket every 14 balls. And then batting, I'll tell you after this.
So, yeah, short ball from Fahim outside the off stump and played out to the fielder Harris Ralph at the point boundary for a single. The South African score goes up to 138.
His batting is frankly horrendous. Average of 12.5 with a highest score of 21.
That's the problem with Chris Morris. But his strike rate, what's his strike rate?
His strike rate is 147, which is honestly the sort of strike rate you would expect from a top order player as well. So I don't think
147.
Yeah.
That's good. That's what we need. I'm picking the South African cricket team based on strike rate going to the World Cup. So anybody with a strike rate of under 127, which is the captain's strike rate, shouldn't be picked. Oh, wow. Okay, a dropped chance there by, it looks like it was Hassan Ali, who's not having the greatest day in the field. Pite van Biljon coming down the wicket to Fahim. It was actually Heimer Klaassen, actually, who got a full toss and went straight
not
to
far
the
off a no ball there, I would have thought.
Went straight to the fielder at mid-off. Hassan Ali had to go back a little bit, but he fumbled that, and a single was taken. And so Heimer Klaassen lives to see another ball. And so far, this over's gone for 10 with 1 remaining. Fahim into Pite. It's a short. It's pulled. There is a fielder there, the sweeper, on the boundary at mid-wicket. And the end of that over, 11 has been taken. South Africa's score goes up to 140 for 3. They're currently going at a run rate of 10 runs and over.
I would like to see this shown from side on, because I think this might have been a no ball for height. And for me, the thing that you look for as a square leg umpire is, do the batsman's shoulders go up as they try and play the shot? So they're being cramped for height, and they shrug their shoulders up, and that's always a really, really good indication that a full toss has been too high. And that's certainly what happened there. Is the reason that he hit the catch was that it was a full toss that was cramping him for height, but it was there and thereabouts on the no ball. But I would love to see it from side on.
Yeah. So the other thing about that Mark Barch and the guys will have a headache is that they're probably going to have to split the 3 quicks. So they're going to have to probably play 2 of this ball from Haris Ralph. Hassan Ali is on middle stump and driven out to the man at mid-wicket for a single, 141 for 3. The one question they have to figure out is which 2 of the 3 quicks will start at the World Cup. So they're going to have to split Kagiso Andile and Anit Nokia to fit in probably Chris Morris and possibly an Andile Pethuguayo, or even a Marco Janssen, who's an all-rounder.
So who was the Andile you mentioned first?
Lungi, Kagiso, and Anut Nokia.
Oh, Lungi, not Andile. Okay, yes.
Yes, they're going to have to split those guys to try and give us a semblance of a long batting lineup and give an opportunity for another spinner. This one driven out to cover for a single. Good running there from the South Africans. That one was Pite van Biljon. Pite is currently on 21 of 13. Klaasen 42 of 22. South Africa 142 for 3. It's actually very interesting. The question is, if they played the CSA T20 at the Wanderers, we probably would have been getting scores of 200 every day, instead of the 120s and 140s we're getting in Durban.
Yeah.
Full ball and play it out to the leg side for another single.
Sorry, I didn't really have an opinion. I was dealing with admin from the Guerrilla Cricket side. But that one out of the back of the hand and a slightly slower ball, but it is easily picked up and flicked away into the onside. And South Africa looking like $1 million at the moment. 143 for 3 after 14.3 overs. Klaasen is there of 42 of 22. Van Biljon 22 of 14. It's a good day out.
Pull shot. It's a short ball. It's pulled, and anything that's short is seemingly going onto the bank at the Wanderers. And it's another 6 from Heino Klaasen. He goes up to 48. South Africa go up to 149 for 3 with 2 balls remaining in the 15th over. And that's another slow ball. It was a leg cutter. And Heino Klaasen picked it up, a slow ball bouncer, and he's been moving. And he laid into that one. He waited for that, and it was a beautiful 6.
It was indeed. I mean, really just getting his bat in the way there from the bouncer, and it just pinged off the middle all the way to the boundary.
And true to form, Heino Klaasen plays the next ball out to the man at wide-ish long on, and they come through for a 2, and that takes him to 50. So the second 50 of the match. This one is Heino Klaasen 50 off 24.
50 runs off 24 balls. I'm just waiting for the stats to update, but he's done off 24 balls. He hit 3 4s and 4 6s, and has really been a fantastic innings for South Africa.
To end the over, it's another slow ball, but it's a wider one, and Heino Klaasen can't get back onto that, and so that ends the 15th over. South Africa 151 for 3 on their way to 200 runs. Hopefully, don't touch the money then, Paul.
151 for 3 at the moment of 15 overs. There's not a captain in the world who wouldn't have taken that, offered at breakfast this morning. And it does seem that they've got a big inflatable KFC bucket at some point. I'm assuming Kyle Corner, probably across where the Taverners stand is. And if you hit it, I think you get a Kruger Rand, or at least something reasonably.
So in New Zealand, In New Zealand, if any of the New Zealand cricketers found that bucket, the whole nation got a free item off the KFC menu for 24 hours. But obviously
the whole nation?
Yes. But here it's not so much. So yeah, I think they hit it once and they got free wings or free chicken strips.
That would be hysterical.
I think Devon Conway hit it. A full toss and
come on.
pulled over the fielders in the ring. It would trickle down to the backward point boundary, but the South Africans only managed to get 2. Pite's asking the square leg umpire whether it's no ball. Simon says it is, but square leg umpire says not.
Yeah. I think the guy made a mistake there. Okay, let's have a look. It's coming in. Probably okay. It's one of those decisions that I see umpires make incorrectly a lot. As this is just driven back down the ground, they go through for 2, and the reason is that the law says you've got to have a look at where the ball is as it crosses the crease, and if it's above the batsman's waist, as if they are taking a normal guard, then it should be called no ball. So many umpires talk about the angle of the ball. Is it coming down? Is it going up? Which is incorrect. Because it is possible to be bowled off a no ball, a full toss no ball. So the angle of the ball has got nothing to do with it whatsoever.
Pite van Biljon is seemingly finding fielders now, and he's gotten a single there. He drove that one straight to the man at long off for 1, so 156 for 3. Some tweets. Dave Midgley is saying the question is, do kids still have posters on their walls at all? And he's got a gif of, I don't know who that man is, and it says, how do you do, fellow kids? Mog says, Chris Morris seems to have a bit of an aura in the BBL too. I say this without checking figures, though. And then Ravi says, Klaasen is in a mood today, methinks. That's true. That's Ravi Reddy, also known as, he calls himself Uncle Ravi, but Ravi Net has taken that nickname. And so we'll just call him the light roller Ravi. And this ball, Klaasen hit himself on the boot there as he was trying to get the ball to the leg side, and he's down for the count. It's problematic because he's our wicketkeeper too. He actually missed the entire ball, and it hit him on the back foot on his boot, so like on the ankle. Oof, that's sore.
Chris TB says, I think the KFC competition involves people buying buckets of chicken and standing a chance to win gold KFC coins. Discrimination against those of us who can only eat chips.
You can buy me a bucket of chicken and I'll eat it and you can eat the chips.
There you go. Absolutely. And I got a withering WhatsApp from my daughter this afternoon because I got her lunch for the cricket game that she's playing, and I misread a label thinking it was a cheese tomato sandwich, and it turned out to be a ham cheese tomato sandwich. So I got just that one word, vegetarian, with a question mark and a photograph of the sandwich. So I'm assuming that she's been able to.
So you gave her the cold option, which is something we're discussing yesterday with my friends in varsity. When you in varsity at Rares, the hot meal. If you didn't like the hot meal, you could take the cold option, which was a plate of ham and cheese slices, and then you could just go and make sandwiches with it. So ham and cheese sandwich in my head is a cold option.
There you go. So she got the cold option, and I got the cold shoulder as a result. It's actually been an interesting journey because both my son and my daughter now are vegetarian, which means that, and in fact my partner as well. So it means that I'm de facto vegetarian, whether I want to be or not through most of the
Yes. Because they can't. You're the problem. Yeah, you're making people make another dish for you, or prepare a piece of meat that they won't even end up eating.
Exactly. It's still worth it, I think. But
yeah. So I'm vegetarian midweek, and then on weekends I discover my carnivorous self. Yeah. So
is it a health thing for you, or is it a moral thing?
Health, mostly.
Okay. I mean, there's no doubt that I feel better on a vegetarian diet. Absolutely no doubt at all. But that's probably because now when I do buy meat, because it's not worth me buying to prepare, it tends to be takeaways. So it just means that I've been eating crap, regardless.
Here's an interesting point from Sean Beckett. He says he watched a Jared Kimber video on the IPL auction, and it turns out that Chris Morris is one of the best death bowlers in the history of the IPL, if I remember correctly. That's actually pretty true. I think RCB used him a lot last year at the death. Oh, there's another full toss. This one has been pulled to that square leg boundary. They're coming through for two. Are the South Africans. Pite van Bouillon is being made to work here by his captain, as he should. But 2 runs have gone through. So far this over is worth 8, and Heino Klaasen does not look happy. He does not look happy.
Yeah, and I don't think he was really hit hard on the inside of his foot there, and I mean that is the sort of thing that breaks a bone, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's not the Achilles; it's below there, and it's that. Oh no, it's just very tough.
Almost the bridge of the foot, I think he was hit on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fahim with a full length ball and driven straight to Babar Azam on the circle on the offside for no run. So 159 for 3 at the end of the 16th over. The guys on Twitter. So Ravi Reddy says you should have told your daughter that it was a Beyond Ham sandwich. And then he goes on to say, sounds like Simon needs an emergency Big Mac.
Yeah, I am definitely susceptible to a Big Mac every now and again. I mean, clearly steers make better burgers, but the ability to drive through is a big thing.
Burger King for me.
You know what? My problem with Burger King, clearly their food is nicer, but those potato rolls of theirs, whatever they call them, potato bread, it just fills me up. It makes me feel like a swollen tick for the rest of the day. And then I just lie on the couch, my legs like sticking out sideways.
I had my 21st birthday at a Burger King.
What?
I'll tell you the story. Hassan Ali to Heino Klaasen. He can't move, so he's pretty much stuck in the crease seemingly. But he plays this one straight back to the bowler. Really good Yorker length ball from Hassan Ali for another dot ball. No, so we're students, and so my friend group normally. So in my friend group, there's this one girl named Bonolo, and she always likes to pick the nice restaurants for birthdays. But she was gone at the time. She had gone home. Oh, beautiful ram shot from Heino Klaasen at 45 on the leg side. And that's the end of the South African captain. Really good over so far from Pakistan, 159 for 4. If they can restrict South Africa to a number under 200, that would be very important, especially because they've got Babar Azam, they've got Mohammad Rizwan and Fakhar Zaman at the top, as well as Mohammad Hafiz. So, yeah, I think 200 is something that Pakistan would be hoping to bring South Africa under. And so she had gone home, so Bonolo had gone home, and then so my guy friends were like, dude, let's do this. It was like the first month that Burger King opened in South Africa. So everyone was like, dude, let's do this. And so we went to Burger King, and the kicker was Burger King have those, that unlimited soda fountain of Pepsi flavored drinks. So that was the kicker. And so we went there, we sat there, we had our double, it was a double Whopper with cheese, and we just kept on going to that soda fountain. I mean, that was my 21st. Nothing fancy, just... Yeah?
Let's talk quickly about this this wicket, which was ramped. He got the angle of his bat completely wrong, and as a result, it just looped over to the man at that fine leg inside the circle. Henry Klaasen caught Fakhar Zaman, bowled Hassan Ali for 50. He faced 28 balls, 2 fours, 4 sixes, and the fall of wicket 159 for 4. South Africa now 160 for 4. As the new man who's come in to join Pete van Biljon is
George Linder.
George Linder, the spinner.
Yes.
So he's
so we've got a lot of tweets and comments on Facebook. Jane Seymour says, "What? No biltong, Simon?" And then she says, "A swollen tick. I can just picture that, Simon." Hassan Ali into George Linda. It's a full toss, looking for that Yorker length, but it's it's hit straight to the man at point for a single. So it's 161 for 4. And then on Twitter, David Midgley says, "A moment of silence for Simon Gear, vegetarian, not by #vegetarian, not by choice."
Yeah, I'm always reminded of the guy in Pulp Fiction when he's eating the cheeseburger of the guy he's about to shoot, and says, "Yeah, my girlfriend is a vegetarian, which pretty much makes me a vegetarian too." It's exactly how I feel about it.
A full toss and mistimed by Pipe Fumble Yon straight to the man on the circle at mid-on, Harris Ralph, for another single middle, I beg your pardon. So 162 for 3. Anis Mohammed says, "Hey, good to hear Simon Gear again. Do you like to have undercover eat burgers, or do you like to eat burgers undercover? Like can't come home smelling of beefy goodness?"
I'll be honest. That's exactly what I do. If I'm out and about, or if I'm away for business, then I do. And as a result, I know the best steakhouses in Bloemhof and Kimberley and Colesberg, which are all of the places that I have to travel to and stay overnight. When I do disappear for sort of extended periods of time, as we did for the ODIs, I wasn't around because I was traveling for work. And I must tell you, those small towns, my goodness, do they do a good steak.
So the end of that, Hassan Ali over ended with a single, so he went 4 runs off of that over with the wicket. And then Chris TV says, "Just found out that is it Pete or Pite van Bouillon's sister Suzanne holds the African 100-meter and 200-meter breaststroke records. Is it like this weekend at the National Swimming Champs? This week at the National Swimming Champs, Chris? Please let us know, because Chad Leclos and co were just breaking records this weekend. It's good to have swimming back, but it was Olympic trials, so guys are putting their best foot forward."
That's a really, really good stat. It's lovely to see families that have kids across the spectrum doing amazingly well. But I can't even think of her name now.
So the baby-faced assassin. Now that he's married, I don't think I should call him the baby-faced assassin, but he still looks very young, even though he's like 40. This is a fuller length ball to George Linda. He drives that one to point for a single. No, because guys have been saying that Shaheen Shah Afridi's been 21 for 5 years now. So it's a whole Shahid Afridi question of was he 40 or was he 30 or was how old he really was. And so Pirate Badshaw says, "Afternoon, Sea Dogs. As you're talking 21st birthdays, and keeping with my current moniker, I was at the seafood restaurant for my 21st, not far from the Malahide cricket ground." Oh, that's awesome. Pirate, I really do hope that by the time South Africa make it to Ireland, you'll be allowed to go and watch the cricket at the Malahide cricket ground, because that would be very, very lovely to see you guys there. This one is played. Oh, beautiful ball. It's a full toss. Played down the leg side. The fielder there did a really great piece of fielding. That was Harris Ralph to prevent 2 runs. And the South Africans managing to come through for 266 for 4. 2 balls into the 18th over.
Yeah, I wonder whether these high full tosses almost have been a Pakistan tactic today, because we've had 4 or 5 of them now. As we're just checking the replay of a diving stop down at the square leg boundary there. Not sure who it was. 87, 97.
Harris Ralph.
Oh, it is. Okay. I think he's probably okay there. No, I'll give that to him. I think that's fair. Of course, the next time South Africa plays international cricket is against Ireland in Ireland. And so I know that the Guerrilla Cricket team, the first time they ever did a live at the ground commentary job was for the first Irish test. And I wonder whether, well, in fact, I have already asked, and they're not going to be covering this series, the Ireland versus South Africa one.
Is it because they're doing
in a perfect world, of course, you and I would be flying across to go and provide commentary.
I even have, Ireland is awesome. I love Dublin. I would really love to go back. My friends all live there now, so that's another reason for me to go. Pike van Bouillon cuts this one behind square back to Harris Ralph, only for a single.
And Jane Seymour saying that she's watching from Dorset in England. Jane Seymour, despite her name, Jane Seymour, set 2 is something new, is my aunt.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. Isn't one of the famous English kings, wasn't he married to a Jane Seymour?
I think Henry VIII had a Jane Seymour in the mix there somewhere. I'm sure Jane Seymour herself, our Jane Seymour, will let us know exactly what happened to that Jane Seymour.
This next ball from Shaheen has been driven down the ground, to the fielder on the ring at mid-on for another single. The score is 168 for 4. South Africa's chase stumbling a bit after the, not chase, but run setting, stumbling a bit after the wicket of Heiner Klaassen. Got some tweets here. Ravi has quote tweeted Jeffrey Toyana, who has a picture of Heiner Klaassen raising his bat with the labeled class. And then his tweet, Ravi's tweet was, "Preach, coach, preach." This ball is played out in the air. It was a full toss outside the off stump. And Shaheen has his first wicket as Pike van Bouillon was caught on that third man bundle backward point boundary. And so he is out for 34.
Yeah, it was one of those where he just hung his bat out at it, and it flew away down to the man in the shade of the Unity stand, and he took a good solid catch. And Shane Afridi does the crucifix celebration that we know so well. Peter van Biljon, 34 of 24 balls. And that leaves South Africa at 168 for 5 with 1 ball remaining in the 18th over. And this brings Andile Petlwayo to the crease.
Yes. So Andile comes in to the crease. Just some tweets to go through. Leah tweeting us for the first time today. She says, "Feel a bit guilty about prioritizing the IPL today and haunting at one tip, one hands Discord." Oh, well. And then Pirate Batshaw, after this ball driven down the leg side by George Linda, they look to take 2. No, they do not. And so it's the end of the 18th over. South Africa 169 for 5. With 2 overs remaining. Probably one of those overs will be Shaheen. This penultimate over will probably be bowled by Hassan Ali. Pirate Batshaw says it's possible there might be some crowds, though I'm hesitant as I am far enough back in the vaccine queue that won't be vaccinated until July, August.
So he's obviously talking about the Irish matches that we're going to be playing in Dublin against Ireland. Yeah,
it's not in Dublin. I think it's in Malahide.
They're all in Malahide. The whole series.
Yes. I don't know if the Malahide Cricket Club is in Dublin, but my assumption is that it's outside. It's outside of Dublin.
You're going to make me Google again.
Well, Anis Mohammed says, so far, good sporting weekend. This first ball of Harris Ralph's third over is driven to the man at mid-off for a single, but off the bat of George Linda.
It's not only in Dublin; it is on Dublin Road in County Dublin.
Oh, okay,
so
that's good.
It is about as Dublin as you can get, apparently.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I think my friends live near the Aviva Stadium, so most likely still in Dublin, but not to Dublin of Dublin as you get.
Jane Seymour informs us that the Jane Seymour of Henry VIII died giving birth. She was not beheaded.
Okay.
She might be beheaded afterwards. We don't know.
Andile cuts his poor ball to point for a single, 171 for 5. These two need to be the power hitters we know and we hope for them to be. And then Anis says, "Oh, so far so good. A sporting weekend is on. Klaasen earned his name. BattleTech reference, and it's WrestleMania weekend. Oh, when was the last time I watched WrestleMania?
Hopefully never. I would have thought.
Oh, dude, I used to be a big wrestling fan. Oh, this ball hits Heino Klaasen on the full in front of off stump. There is an LBW appeal, and Aludin Pelaka puts up his hand to say, "My man, I'm sorry, but you're out." A wicket to Pakistan, a really, really great effort to restrict the South Africans from putting up one of those mammoth scores. But the DRS has been taken because you are allowed two. And so
this
George
wasn't
Linder,
it was George Linder indeed. Yeah, I was about to say. George Linder, he's scored 6 of 6 at the moment, and South Africa is there on 171 for 5. I think the big decision is going to be, does it pitch off? Oh no, this is
he's plumb.
Yeah, so it is the York dude. I mean, the embarrassment of sending this to DRS is really appalling. It's pitched inside the popping crease, and has got, in fact, it's almost pitched full on the back foot. That was 30 centimeters from the middle stump, if that. So it's gonna miss leg, miss off, and hit middle right on the
This is what LBW was created for.
Exactly.
And all 3 reds, and George Linder will have to go back 6 of 6 or 7 now, I'm assuming. And then Chris
that is the shortest ball tracker I've ever seen. That they literally had to show the ball tracking for about 20 centimeters. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, so Chris TB on Twitter says, "Is Simon related to a Bond girl from Live and Let Die?" Pirate Bradshaw says, "Malahide is not in Dublin City, but it is in County Dublin. And 4 of the 6 matches are in Malahide." So it's like, so County Dublin is like the province, I'm assuming. Armchair Cricket Podcast says, "As well as SA have batted so far, they're beginning to lose wickets and momentum at a crucial juncture. Pakistan will take it happily. Why was Andile not at 6 ahead of George for a left-right combo? Both George and Andile are left-handed, right-handed. But that brings in Sisanda Magala. Okay, let's do this. Sisanda on debut cuts this one to point. He gets his first runs in international cricket. Take that for this. He's fit enough to run between the wickets, so that's good.
Exactly.
One of the most exciting cricketers. I think you said he was your favorite cricketer after that MSL game that he literally laid into the Jersey Stars.
Yeah. No, he's. I love it, and I love. I want a cricket industry or rhythm where you do have guys like Magala and like
Raheem Cornwall.
Raheem Cornwall and those sort of guys. It's I think it just adds to the game enormously.
Andile takes a single off of that brings Magala back on strike. I think I should open a Sisanda Magala is bowling account on Twitter and document every ball in his international career because I am such a fan of this man. And so too is Dale Steyn, if you think we are joking. Sisanda, this one comes a little bit quickly to him, but he manages to get a single off a ball that went on the bounce to the man at mid-off for 1. So the score goes up to 174 for 6. And then,
19 overs gone now, 174 for 6, so there's 1 over. And I'll be honest, South Africa will be disappointed with this. Certainly through the first 10 overs, they looked like they were odds on for 200 plus. And things have quietened down a lot. They've lost wickets at inopportune moments. And so now I think, I don't know, 1 over to go. They'll probably take 190.
Speaking of IPL, we were just followed by an account called CSK Fan. So, that's great. Why isn't he watching CSK play the Delhi Capitals? Busy. Well, that's great. You can really listen to us. Yeah.
He's probably one of those multitaskers who's listening to us and watching CSK.
Shaheen starting the last over. Sisanda can't pierce the fielder on the ring and is... I think this is the fitness test he needed to do, just run between the wickets, and he's doing that quite well. He's sprinting, so far so good. Sisanda's got 3 runs, 1 more than Andile Pesugwayo, which is pretty cool. Just so happy, so excited for Sisanda Magala. I can't wait to watch him bowl. Really, really can't wait to watch him bowl. One of South Africa's best death bowlers. And he says Sisanda went to his alma mater, making everyone in Etenaga or Uitenhage and old and current Muir boys very happy, second to none. And Andile pulls this full toss down the leg side behind the fielder at 45, and they come through for 2. So the score goes up to 177 for 6. South Africa would be disappointed with this total, especially at the Wanderers, but it's up to Pesugwayo, Magala, and Buren and Lazard Williams to take wickets this afternoon. So that's going to be quite exciting.
So Ravi Nair wants to know. Surely I know who Hulk Hogan is. Yeah, no, I mean Hulk Hogan. I can probably recognize. I can recognize The Rock, and that's about it. Eh? I remember back in the day.
Beautiful ramp shot. Andile is standing outside his off stump and waiting for a Shaheen full toss, and he ramps it over the fielder in the ring at short third man for 4. Just a beautiful shot. I'm going to call that one of those Boucher shots that he's been talking about, the extra shots that they've been teaching the players to play. So I'll give Mark Boucher 1 for that one, because that's very, very good and well calculated from Andile.
Also going to point out that Shaheen Shahid Afridi threw that ball. There was
that
definitely...
a chuck?
Yeah, that was a chuck. He chucked it.
So what do you do if you're an umpire and you see someone chucking?
So at the level that I umpire at, the rule is that if it's something that they've done, I'll let you.
And Andile just lays into this one onto the offside. They're going to come back for... No, they're not. It's just a single. 182 for 6.
If it's not part of their natural action, then we call it no ball. But if someone has a natural action that we have suspicions of, we are specifically instructed not to call it no ball, but to report it to the office at the end of the game. And
so what if he takes a 5 for chucking?
Yeah, it's not our problem.
Oh, wow. That last ball to Andile was 150 kilometers per hour.
I'm telling you, he's checking it. He's checking it.
So you're making some deep accusations here. Some deep accusations. Oh, beautiful ball around the wicket to Sisanda. This one, he missed it entirely. It was a back of a length ball. Sisanda was looking to launch it to probably closer to the media center, but he couldn't get anything onto it.
There's absolutely no doubt in my mind. So even that one had a bit of a flick on the wrist. It's part of the game at this level. Again, talking to Dave Tebrucker, he told me that he went to an Australian fast bowling camp where they were specifically taught, and Brett Lee was part of his class. They were specifically taught how to throw their bounces.
And Sisanda gets a hold of this one. It will go over the boundary for 6. He ends the innings for South Africa with a 6. He takes his total to 9. Both Pesugwayo and Magala are 9 off of 5. South Africa in their innings, probably 12 runs short at 188 for 6. Will it come back to haunt them, or will the newbies in the bowling side come through for them? And also ask the selectors whether they should consider them to go to the World Cup.
Yeah, so it's been a big... look, 188 is a great score in T20. But South Africa would have definitely thought that they were going to be due a little bit more than that. Let me take you through the scorecard. What I'm going to do, boys, you can hang on if you want. But I'm going to add Dave to the stream because he will begin to, I'm sure, give his opinions. But let me give you the scorecard in the interim, and then, Paul, you can disappear off when you want. Dave, I'm not sure whether someone is serving stuff up on your feed or on pause.
It's not me, definitely not me.
And welcome, Dave. How's it, mate?
Well,
So Janneman Malan, I mean, we thought we were going to be seeing one of the great T20 innings here, and unfortunately got, I would say, he was very plumb, but an unlucky LBW. Very, very good decision by both the umpire and the fielding side for appealing for it. It just flicked the top of the pad before it hit the middle of the bat. And he was LBW bowled Mohammad Nawaz for 24 of 16. Aiden Markram looking class personified. He got to his 50 before being caught behind by Rizwan, bowled again by Mohammad Nawaz. Vian Lubber came in, faced 3 balls, smashed one of them 4 before getting one that climbed a little bit on him. In fact, it was a full toss. Maybe should have been called no ball. That was caught Shaheen Shah Afridi, bowled Hassan Ali. He was gone for 4. Heinrich Klaassen played a good captain's innings, 50 of 28. Caught Fakar Zaman, bowled Hassan Ali. Peter van Biljon caught Mohammad Nawaz, bowled Shaheen Shah Afridi for 34. And George Linder, LBW, bowled Harris Rao for 6. The not-out men, Andile Petwayo for 9, and Sasin Magala also for 9, both of them off 5 balls. The bowling figures, Afridi 1 for 45, Nawaz 2 for 21 of his 4. Excellent bowling there. Hassan Ali 2 for 28. Usman Qadir, he had a day that he will happily forget. 38 runs off 3 overs, and Harris Rauf, similar, 1 for 37 of his 3 overs, and Fahim Ashraf Nord for 18 off 2. So South Africa are due to defend 188 of their 20 overs. They had 6 wickets down. Gents, your thoughts from the innings? Let's let Paul go first, and then I'll ask Dave.
I think obviously it fell away. I think we're about 12 to 15 runs short. I think 200 was the mark that they needed to get to. Kind of shows the little bit of that inexperience in that low middle order. But it's up to the bowlers. I think Sisanda is going to surprise everybody. Bjorn Hendricks also wants to put his name again back in the reckoning. So we'll just see how it goes.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm completely sold on this South African top order experiment with Aiden Markram. I understand that we don't have a guy like Reza Hendricks or Quinton de Kock at our disposal, but I don't know. I know he came through today, but I just I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm sold yet. But nevertheless, the South African batting performance, like you said, Mpho, was kind of a flying start and then a couple of wickets. So interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how the bowlers come through in this quite a youngish bowling lineup. I know we say guys like Bjorn Hendricks are in and out of white ball squads, but Magala and Williams with their debut today. So it's going to be interesting to see how they make use of the new ball.
Guys, I'm going to have, because I'm still on for the whole of the second innings as well, I'm going to have a quick break. Paul, can you chat to Dave until such time as Chris shows up? Thanks, mate.
Okay. I'm with you there. Like, I'm excited to see this bowling attack, largely because obviously the guys in the IPL are gone. And then the question is, can one of these guys usurp or push somebody off? And the great thing about this team, it's based on form. Well, partly on the bowling side, because Lazard, Williams, and Magala were the 2 best bowlers in that CSA T20, outside of the guys who are at the IPL. So it's one of those situations where we've been wanting to see Sisanda, a guy like Lazard, who's played cricket for the past 10 years. And he's finally getting his opportunity, and he's improved over the past couple of years. So that's really good to see. And I've always liked Bjorn Hendricks in this format. Obviously, it's just one of those situations where which Bjorn Hendricks are you going to get? So that's the thing.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mpho. I mean, Bjorn Hendricks is frustrating but exciting at times. I think he's very much a hit and miss cricketer, and that could be partly due to the fact that, like I said earlier, he's been in and out of white ball squads. When KG and Lungi and Anrich are available, he doesn't necessarily make the cut. But with IPL and those kind of commitments, he fills a role very nicely. I think for South Africa, and you guys alluded to it earlier, I think we've got a selection nightmare. I know we will take a World Cup squad, and I imagine with COVID it might be slightly larger than usual. But I do think that it's going to be interesting to see who they end up picking to go to that World Cup, because you guys mentioned a whole lot of names that are either out due to injury, in Temba and Rassi and Dwayne Pretorius, and Riza, who's away because of the birth of his first child. So, I mean, there's that whole cohort, and then you mentioned the IPL guys who are also, currently not in the South African squad. So, a headache we're going to have as South Africans, but I think it's not the worst headache that we could have. I think if we think back to a couple of years ago, going into a T20 World Cup, we'd probably say we're scraping for players. And we're not really sure of our final World Cup squad, but I do think now we've got the headache of too many to pick from.
Look, I think a guy like, so I've always thought a guy like Heinrich Klaasen is fighting for that spot as the extra batsman. But the only problem is, obviously, if you bring AB in and you've got Fafa as well, you might find Rassie van der Dussen being that extra batsman. And he's and that seemingly sounds unfair with a World Cup side, and obviously with the bowlers, I was saying earlier that you might have to find a situation where you're gonna have to you can't play all three of your of Lungi, KG, and Anrich. You might have to split it out and try get a George Linda or another spinner in, as well as possibly even looking to find a way to get Chris Morris in. To bat at 7, because sometimes, and a lot of people have said that Andile bats too high. So it's a good headache to have. It's a good headache to have. Just I don't know what guys would do. So I see Chris is on, and I see Simon's back. So I'll take my leave. All the best, guys, for that second innings.
Thanks so much. Welcome, Chris.
Just checking that my mic and everything sounds right. I'm borrowing someone's laptop and the internet all. So it's just through the...
No, we can hear you loud and clearly. I just want to point out something, that a guy like Calvarena is neither noisy at the IPL. So again, that's another name. And I imagine that there might be one or two extra that are not in the squad that probably could, make a case for selection. Chris, what do you think?
Verena, I made the joke earlier that I think we just wanted to have 9 or 10 bowling options, and that's why Verena's not in the starting 11. Although, we'll see what happens with Heinrich Klaasen. He hit himself. He got hit, and we might have Platform Boyon having to keep. We'll see exactly what happens there. When we were in Pakistan, we thought the CSA T20 would help us get closer to knowing who our best choice 11 is for the World T20, and I don't think it has.
It's made the headache even more poignant. Yeah.
How many names are in ink rather than pencil for that 11? Like Temba Bavuma, because he's captain, and then Kuki Surabada, and then
Quinton de Kock,
and that's
Rassie van der Dussen.
Yeah. Nowhere near knowing what we need. I also saw Rassie van der Dussen warming up on the side of the field earlier. So he seems to be over his quadriceps strain. We'll see if he comes on the field exactly. Yeah, we'll find out more about Heinrich Klaasen, I think, as the game goes on, and as far as his fitness goes.
Simon, what do you think about some of the selection headaches that we have at the moment when guys put their hands up like Aiden Markram has done today?
Simon, I think you're muted. But you look like you're making a clever point.
No, still silent. I think just with obviously, you're back. There we go.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm biased in that I love to see traditional red ball cricketers playing T20. and we saw it with Aiden today. I mean, he wasn't. There was nothing agricultural about the way that he played at all, and yet he got the job done. He scored 50 in 30 odd balls, which is exactly what. Yeah, I mean, you really can't ask for more, and so I'm a huge fan of guys like Aiden Markram playing for the T20 side. I don't like this idea that your T20 side often doesn't overlap at all with your test side. I mean, I obviously understand that the guys need to choose if they're going to have any sort of lengthy career at all. That's, they can't play everything. But I really, really like to see Aiden Markram playing today. And I mean, it worked out perfectly because clearly the team instructions was that Milan was going to have a go, and didn't he bat beautifully for his 16 balls? I mean, it got. I mean, it worked out perfectly because clearly the team instructions was that Milan was going to have a go, and didn't he bat beautifully for his 16 balls? I mean, gosh, I wish that had gone on longer. But then once, and that Aiden was really just going to feed him the strike until such time as he got out. And then suddenly Aiden pressed the accelerator. So you don't get those sort of options if probably the perfect month to play cricket on the high velds in South Africa. A little bit cooler and generally not too much rain about.
Yeah, absolutely. The outfield looking absolutely beautiful. So 189 required from 120 deliveries. Required run rate is 9.45. I'm concerned, Chris, about Simon leaving us alone, because the last time we were left alone, there was about a 20-minute block of Eggman jokes. So Simon, don't stray too far.
I will leave the commentary running as we see George Linder preparing to bowl the first over, which is sort of our last man stands tactic as well, where we take our weakest, most hopeless bowler, which is me, and I squeeze in and over before anyone's noticed what's happening.
I'm streaming it, so I'm going to be about a minute. It's almost exactly a minute behind. You might have to go back a minute or pause a minute, just so that we're all on the same stream.
I'm with you there, Chris. I think I'm a little bit behind, but Babar Azam at the wicket, and he's looking like he's getting ready to go. And like Simon said, George Linder. I mean, is George Linder that bad, or is it just you're trying to squeeze one away here that you can?
And over in. Okay, so I'll leave you guys to coincide your streams together, and I will do that independently at the same time. But you guys enjoy your commentary, and I will have your commentary running, so if there's any drama, I'll jump straight back on.
Thanks so much. George Linder with the first ball. This one is whipped through the backward square region, and they'll just scamper through for one. It's not Babar Azam, it's Mohammad Rizwan that's on the other end with him.
Okay, so I'm probably still about 30 seconds behind you, because George Linder is still seeing some of those. Getting ready to bowl. I haven't seen anything just yet. Sure, I can commentate on it as well. We can get two different
please go for Boba ball so that I can
find the final one in first. So it's going to be George Linder. He's bowling his left arm finger spin, and if Dave's to be believed, it's Mohammad Rizwan facing the first. It's straight, slightly down leg. Rizwan plays it around his front leg, goes to the man at square leg. Enough legs there, and they go through for one. Pakistan off the mark.
Just let me know when the second ball has just been bowled, and I will I'll join in with you. So yeah, South Africa using that tactic. A guy like Bjorn Fortuin is another one.
Too many spinners. There's too many spinners, too many all-rounders, too many top-order batsmen all sort of doing the same thing. George Linder coming in now for the second delivery. This one to Babar Azam, because pitch is just outside of Babar Azam does one of those famous drives, goes to the man at long off, and they go through for another single. So 2 off 2, each batsman on 1 off 1.
There's just so many options for South Africa at the moment, and I don't want to be in that selection meeting.
Here's the third delivery of the first over. It's George Linder again. Obviously, this one goes straight back at George Linder. I think he gets a finger to it, and it just bobbles over. And yeah, it ends up being a dot in there. And the scorecard doesn't tell the whole story. Unfortunately, because my internet's not great, for me to be able to stream, I'm also watching this in 360p, but it is a catch that's been put down. Mohammad Rizwan very late on the shot.
Yeah, just held up in the strip there as he tried to push at it, did Mohammad Rizwan, and just going over the top of George Linder.
Final delivery. There's an LBW appeal that's pretty half-hearted. There might have been bat on it. And yeah, 2 dots following up the 2 singles. There's no interest in reviewing the DRS timer. It goes off the screen as quickly as it went on. Yeah,
just hitting the armpit there of Mohammad Rizwan. So they're kind of confident that it would have gone over the stumps there. That's the high-felt wicket proving its worth.
Penultimate delivery of this first over. Mohammad Rizwan just guides it through the covers. It ends up in the fielder at long off comes round, and that's the third single of the over. So Pakistan 3 for no loss after 5 deliveries.
So
sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm going to upset Mpho because I don't know if you can see it. I'm wearing a Dolphins shirt, just because. Just to mix things up.
That's our way to find out if Mpho's watching or listening, is if we get any comments on that Dolphin shirt. The final delivery of the over, Babar Azam just plays to the man at points. It's another dot delivery. So 3 off the first. Not especially meaningful. I guess it's it's good that there was a wicket opportunity, even if it didn't end up coming off. And 3 isn't quite the rate. South Africa, I think, got off so faster start than that.
So some of the squad, let me pull tweets up. You're right. Just some of the squads coming out for the new structure, the new South African domestic structure. Some big names kind of being shifted around. I know a young man by the name of Bryce Parsons who was a Lion who had plied his trade for the Strikers, is now in Durban. We're seeing somebody like Mangaliso Mosehle, who's now moved to the Free State. So it's going to be interesting how things end up going in this new structure.
Yeah, I haven't been following that enough. I've seen that the Northwest are looking very strong just to match their women's side, because I think the Northwest women's side are just about the best in that setup. Maybe they'll have 2 strong sides. Lazard Williams is going to be the other opening bowler. He's coming into Mohammed Rizwan. This one's just on the wickets, played into the onside, fielded very easily, and there's no run there.
So you spoke about that Northwest side. And a guy like Nicky van den Berg, going back to his Northwest roots. Dwayne Pretorius is another one who's ended up there. So no shortage of good players. I think the number of good players is a little bit more spread out instead of being as concentrated as it has been in the past.
Williams coming in again. This one again on the wickets seemed to rush Mohammed Rizwan a little bit. Seemed quicker than he expected. Very similar to the first delivery in both where it pitched and the result. It's just played into the onside, and it's another dot as we see visuals of Lazard Williams getting this cap from Bjorn Hendricks.
Yeah, just a special moment for every player to get their cap, and it doesn't matter the format as much as you prize that test cap, but nevertheless, an opportunity to play for your country is massive.
He comes in again. This one, a wider one. Rizwan just gets on the back foot, plays it through. It'll be picked up by the sweeper on the offside. That's Andile Petlakwai, and they'll probably go through for 2.
And I'm going to throw another name in there, Vian Mulder.
Yeah, he's one of the many all-rounders we were talking about right now. I mean, we're already, if you're choosing a fast bowling all-rounder, it was pretty hot competition between Mulder, Pretorius, and Petlakwai. And now you almost don't want Marco Jansen to do too well in the IPL because 6'9", left arm bowler. Those are 2 pretty imposing facts by themselves, and then he can bat as well. Williams in again, 4th delivery of this one's just played to George Linder, who's fielding sort of in the gully position or a very short third man, and that's a dot.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just antagonizing the whole situation, but it's just one of those where South Africa, and I'm excited by it. I don't know we lament it as much as we have, but I'm excited by where South African cricket is. I mean, with the loss of a number of players through the Kolpak deal, you almost felt that South Africa's prospects were somewhat diluted.
Penultimate delivery, Rizwan just gets his shoulders through it. This one's flying to the sort of between long on and cow corner, and it's run away for a 1 bounce 4. He looks very pleased. I've had enough of Mohammed Rizwan doing so well in T20s.
Absolutely. Just a cutter there from Lazard Williams, and he missed out on his length there. A little bit of toe end from Mohammed Rizwan there, and he's just managed to get underneath it, and it's flown. As it does at the high felt, it just you get anything on it, and it flies.
I've definitely seen some big sixes from Pakistani batsmen at this ground. Final delivery of the over is just a single played to the man at point, and so Mohammed Rizwan will keep strike for the next over. That shied a 3D6 off Ryan McLaren in one of the Pink Day tests a few years ago. I think the biggest 6 I've ever seen at that ground.
Chris Gale also hit a massive one, I seem to remember, was it the 2007 World T20 where he hit Sean Pollock? I seem to remember. I know he scored 100 in that game.
That's one of the times where he came to play for the Lions, and
yes, for the Ram Slam T20. So overs gone. 7 from that one. A little bit better for Pakistan after the 3 from the first one. But clearly looking to go after the debutant in Lazard Williams, putting a little pressure on him, but hopefully he will be able to adjust, as the left armer Bjorn Hendricks now will come from the call it drive end.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be coming in left arm over to the right-handed Mohammad Rizwan. Called wide, and he'll have another 6 deliveries this over. You were talking about the Ram Slam, which obviously is now the CSA T20 Challenge. Ram Slam had such a memorable, it was so marketable, so good for branding, just the memorable word, the Ram Slam. It's like Ram a big bang. Yeah. And now the Mzansi Super League, it's a fine name, but it's not Ram Slam. And the CSA T20 Challenge is just descriptive. There's no emotion behind that. I think we lost a real institution in the Ram Slam. Second delivery, this one's on target, just outside the off stump of Rizwan. He tries to take off for a single, and he's turned back very quickly, so it's a dot ball in the end.
And you mentioned the power of rhyming names or alliteration, and yet people are trying to cancel Dr. Seuss. I don't know. I don't know. It's Gen Z doing a thing.
I don't think it's the rhyming they had a problem with. I think everyone was pretty well aware of that for a while.
Okay. Anyway.
This is the New Zealand competition. At one point, I think it was the Georgie's Pies Super Smash, which is also just great branding. This one from Hendricks is an LBW appeal. I think it's probably pitching outside leg because he is bowling left arm over the wickets into the right-hander. I don't think the review that Heinrich Klaassen doesn't look interested at all. I hope he does remember that he's captain, and he will be the one responsible for reviewing it if that comes up.
Just an interesting bit of visuals there we saw at the end of the last over, Lazard Williams having a word with Mohammad Rizwan. I wonder what that was all about. I mean, it was 7 from the over. It's an okay T20.
Yeah. There's no history between the two. I don't think they've ever played together or against each other. Are there the two players? No, there's more than just them with Zs in their names. So that can't be the common link either. This delivery from Bjorn Hendricks, Mohammad Rizwan plays it to a man just on the ring on the onside, a very short long on, or short mid on, and they go through for a single in the end.
Fantastic bit of fielding there from the former Warriors man. It was just an incredible bit of work there as he managed to get down to it. He's wearing the number of somebody we've spoken about quite a lot today, Chris Morris, number 2. And wondering if Jan Libber's worth keeping, or is he a stopgap?
Well, what's the politics if Morris comes back in? Who gets the number? And they're both there. Fourth delivery from Hendricks. Babar Azam just gets on the back foot, pulls it, and it's probably going to run over the onside boundary for 4. It does. So Pakistan move on to 16 off 2.4. Babar Azam moves on to 5 off 3.
It was an average ball there from Bjorn Hendricks. He didn't really bang it in at that length, and it just really sat up, and lovely forehand there that most tennis players would be quite proud of by Mohammad Rizwan as he picks up the boundary. His first boundary.
One of the few Z names in that Pakistan side. I think we've just got Lazard. So 2 more deliveries in this Hendricks over. This is the penultimate one. It's a better delivery in terms of forced Babar Azam to play a less orthodox shot. It was wider at him. He tried to play a bit of a fat bat cut and didn't get anywhere near it in the end. And so that's a dot delivery.
See, the difference between the previous delivery and that one was that this one was a cutter from Bjorn Hendricks, whereas the previous one was seam up, and that's why it kind of just stayed its course and was up.
It was seam up, but also it didn't have a consistent seam position. It was sort of a scrambled one, so it really did nothing. It was just a delivery. It did nothing at all. Final delivery is close to a Yorker, but Babar Azam digs it out. There's a run-out attempt as the aforementioned number 2, Jan Libber, takes a shy at the striker's end, goes just over the top of the stumps, but I think Rizwan would have been safe either way. And so at the end of 3 overs, Pakistan are 17 for no loss, Rizwan on 10, Babar Azam on 6. Do we have any tweets?
Let's just have a look at that. You are keeping me on my toes. Nothing at the moment, but hopefully we'll see some.
So I can read those tweets.
I don't know why I'm not getting them.
So I'll just do from 13 minutes ago. Anis Mohammed says, like replacements. How is Kyle Verreynne's form not led to Quinton de Kock being dropped? Or do we just hope Quinton de Kock will play himself into form during international games? I think Quinton de Kock...
I was looking at the wrong thing. Sorry.
You just you didn't search Goal SA, you just searched Dave.
I didn't scroll all the way across the page on TweetDeck, so my apologies. But some celebrations for us as Sanda Magala is into the attack.
Yeah, the man I was most excited to see, and it means we've had our fourth bowler in as many overs. He's coming right on over the wicket. This is a short delivery. Babar Azam just gets on the back foot, easily puts it over the square leg boundary for 4. Yeah, bit of a loosener there, and Babar Azam's far too good to do anything except hit that for 4. So Azam moves on to 10 of 6, Pakistan 21 for no loss.
And Ravi, the light roller ready, as that looks like a no ball. Oh no. So Sanda Magala, the Cardinalson, your first ball in international cricket. And you
already behind Pakistan. In the entire Pakistan innings, there was only one extra, and it was a leg bye. No wides, no balls. It was, even if they got hit for a few runs in the first 15, it was a tight bowling effort in terms of extras. Free hit, Babar Azam. Well, it's a good test of the new man, Sanda Magala, see exactly what he does. Well, Babar Azam gets his arms through this, but yeah, it's a real miss hit. It just dribbles to the onside ring, doesn't connect properly at all, and they turn down the single as well.
Ravi Reddy is saying George Linde is not bad at all. He's a Cobras player after all, and a winky face emoji. And I'm kindly reminding Ravi that the Cobras no longer exist.
The cricket side rather than the animal.
Well, yes. No, cancel culture. We're going to cancel Cobras as well, snakes.
So Sanda Magala, very similar result to the previous delivery, although this one wasn't a free hit. It just ends up hitting Lazard Williams on the ring, and it's another dot. So just going for 4 no balls. 4 runs off the no ball, following up with 2 dots. Mixed over so far, but this is closer to the Magala that we know than that first delivery.
The other one he says is, something tells me Chris TB is a marketing graduate.
I think that's me talking about Ram Slam.
Ah, right.
And Ravi does know that I'm a recent marketing graduate. This third legitimate delivery from Sanda Magala just strays slightly down leg as plays it off his pads, and they go through for it. As we get to see him get his cap as well. We've got lots of B-roll of players getting their caps.
Last one from Ravi saying, Lazard is welcoming Rizwan to the Wanderers and giving him some ball-by-ball commentary.
I can't do the full anagram. I want to see how many common letters those two do have, because it's enough between Lazard Williams and Mohammad Rizwan. This one again strays slightly down leg. Mohammad Rizwan gets down onto one leg, tries to play the sweep, just gets a faint clip onto it, and it runs down to the fine leg boundary for 4. Yeah, not a great delivery, but also a lucky result. The batsman didn't take advantage, but was rewarded.
Cutter there from Sanda Magala, and like you said, he's just kind of gotten a fortuitous edge off of his. It looks like his left hand. No, his right hand glove.
Right at the shoulder of the bat. I thought it was right at okay, no, you're ahead of me. Or you just got much better eyes. I thought that it hit the shoulder, but it is off the glove. This one, Mohammad Rizwan makes no mistakes. It's just dispatched over the onside boundary for a big 6. It's going to break a couple of seats. It's rattling around. They'll send someone with a long arm to find it.
Yeah, the bigger boundary.
Not the over Magala was expecting or looking for. Yeah,
no, not at all. And Mohammad Rizwan is not going to miss out on an opportunity to climb into the newcomer. So I think Sanda Magala's got to come up with a plan here, because I think he may have had an idea of what he wanted to do, but now he's under some pressure from this Pakistan opening pair. He's got to come up with something. Come on, get me a wicket here. We're nearly 4 overs in.
Yeah, and these two are such experienced campaigners. And Mohammad Rizwan is clearly very good at batting against South African T20s. He demolished us when we were there, and then also had a very successful PSL. He's coming into this with great limited overs form. Final delivery, again, strays down leg. I don't know exactly what's causing this from Magala. He's finding some humour in it. just doesn't believe what he's seen. But he's gone for 19 in his first over for the Proteas. And finished off 14 off the last 3. And so many deliveries, you can't even pretend it was just good batting. It was delivery strained down leg, which will always be dismissed at this level.
When it rains, it pours, hey, Chris? I mean, if things are going wrong, they go really wrong. And Sisanda Magala showing us how difficult it is in international cricket, even when you've dominated at domestic cricket. At the same stage, Pakistan are 37 without loss. South Africa were 1 down.
I can't remember what Rizwan. Okay, after this Hendricks. So Bjorn Hendricks is the first player to get 2 overs as he comes into Babar Azam. This one just outside the off stump of his arm, dabbed into the offside, and there's no run there. But Mohammad Rizwan's recent T20s, if you start with the T20 series against South Africa, I don't have the first match here, but then the second 2, he went 51 and 42. And then the PSL, he scored 71, 41, 76, 43, 66, 40. So in his last 10 or so T20 innings, he hasn't scored less than 40.
Purple patch.
Hendricks' second delivery into Babar Azam. This one's on the wickets. Babar Azam tries to play it in the onside, just gets a very thick outside edge, and it goes thick, about 180 degrees away from where he planned on it, as it goes over the boundary for 4.
South Africans completely messing with their lines here. To me, it seems we're bowling very straight to these Pakistani batsmen, and it's not like they're struggling with it. So we've got to come up with plan B. Otherwise, we're going to be asking for a very quick end to this game.
We'll see if Hendricks at any stage ends up changing to around the wicket, because this over the wicket, it's looked very unthreatening so far as he comes in again to Babar Azam, and almost, it's a decent enough delivery. Babar Azam swings for the fences, doesn't get too near it as it beats the outside edge and goes through to the current captain, Heinrich Klaassen, for a dot.
Better from Bjorn Hendricks. I think the previous one was far too straight, fortuitous edge for the Pakistani Babar Azam, but I just think he's got a ball middle and off. He cannot bowl middle and leg or even leg stump. You're asking to get hit here. These two are too good off the pads.
And the length's super important as well. Those short for the batsman, but it can't possibly be out. It was pitching and possibly impacting outside leg as well. Okay.
I think there might be a discussion. It looks like Heinrich Klaassen's asking the question, but I don't think they're too convinced by it.
Hopefully we still get to see the ball tracking either way. And so we know whether that was a wise or not decision. It would be good humour if we wasted both our reviews in the first innings and second innings within the first 5 overs.
Probably a bit high. With these wondrous pitches, they don't die as much.
He's jumping up, but he's back in his crease. So many things cancelling each other out. But I think the main thing is probably pitching outside leg. We'll have to keep an eye out, and we'll tell you exactly what happened there. Hendricks coming in for the 5th delivery of the second over, in again to Babar Azam. This one's wideish. Babar Azam gets in the back foot. It's a cut straight to the fielder. Lovely catch there. And there's our wicket.
Lazard Williams with his first catch in international cricket. And I'm not Coach Dave for nothing. You bowl a slightly wider length. He hits it straight down extra cover's throat. There's a wicket. Thank you very much. I'll be here all night. That's an I told you so moment, Chris. 100% an I told you so.
So what did you say? That
I said we can't be bowling straight. We've got to bowl wider than we currently are. He bowls wide, straight down the man's throat. Babar Azam gone for 14 from 14. Caught Williams, ball Hendricks. There's one ball in the 5th. Pakistan 41 for 1.
And when we tell the story of how you predicted it, we can embellish it slightly. Dave said, no, just follow that up with a slightly wider one. He'll get on the back foot and he'll hold out to Lazard Williams. Guaranteed. Nothing else is going to happen.
Absolutely. No one can prove otherwise. Fakhar Zaman, the new man at the wicket. He's a left-handed man who comes in at number 3 at 1 down for Pakistan. I don't imagine, Chris, that the foot will come off the gas here for the Pakistanis. Fakhar Zaman is having the time of his life.
Go down a bit harder. I mean, Babar Azam is often in that top 3. He can be the slowest scoring. He struggles to accelerate it the same way that these other do too. And They just needed to show Fakazamana a picture of Quinton de Kock before he went out, and I'm sure he'll have that fire in his soul to put a few over the fence.
Right.
193 innings. The second highest ever ODI score in a loss, that 193, and the highest ever score in a chase. Successful.
Good old Charles Coventry tweeted, I think something about, him being grateful that he kept his record of 194. I think it was against Bangladesh. Was it Harare or was it Bulawayo?
No, look, but Charles Coventry, I don't know if he's still the St. Stadium's coach, but he was a couple of years ago. The first team cricket coach.
I wonder if, I'm not sure.
Not whilst I was there. We just had a science teacher called Mr. Gray who did a good enough job. Final delivery from Bjorn Hendricks into Fakazamana, who just defends it up the crease, and that's a dot. So at the end of 5 overs, Pakistan 41 for 1. The man dismissed Babar Azam. Rizwan's still there on 24 of 16, and Fakazaman's on 0. Target of 189.
Yeah, the heart of Lazard Williams would have been beating quite furiously as that ball came towards him. He had to kind of fall with it to cushion the blow, but make from your debut game to contribute. You want to be involved, and you definitely want to put your hand up in some way or another. But it's always a good one when you're able to take a catch. We speak about Fakhar Zaman having the time of his life, but we forget that there's a man on 100 T20s who's next in to bat in Mohammad Hafiz, Mr. Moustache.
Yeah, but definitely the most experienced player between both of these sides. As we see, Lazard Williams is going to continue from the other end. His first delivery goes into Mohammad Rizwan, who just gets on the back foot, plays it to the man at square leg, and I think they went through for 1 there in the end. So Fakhar Zaman will have to face Lazard Williams' delivery. I was going to check when he made his debut, because I think he's one of all the international players, I think he's up there.
2007? I don't know why that number rings a bell.
Well, I'll tell you if my internet sorts itself out. I've got a lot of things going at the same time, I guess.
Out of the top of your head, any other player? We see Lazard Williams wearing number 6. Anyone else that you can think of that's worn number 6 for South Africa?
I'm terrible with numbers. What number did Justin Kemp wear?
6.
Is it? Okay.
The point I was trying to make.
Okay, is there another one, or is it just Kemp that you were thinking of?
That's Kemp, yeah.
Second, Lazard Williams delivery into Pakistan just goes to Bjorn Hendricks at mid-off, and there's no run there. I'm surprised that I remember that, because generally I'm not that good with numbers. Well, I'm better now that I've had to commentate and recognize players off their numbers, but yeah. And yeah, it's been a while since I've seen Justin Kemp do anything. He's a player we haven't seen in the limelight after retirement. Third delivery from Lazard Williams. He's coming right arm over into the left hand of Fakazamana, who just gets on the back foot, pulls it, and it goes through to Andila Petlaquire on the mid-wicket boundary, and they go through for a single. So just 2 of the first 3 deliveries of this over. Pakistan 43 for 1. Mohammad Rizwan on 25, Fakhar Zaman on 1.
146 required from 87 deliveries for Pakistan, where they're about a quarter and a half, if you will, into their innings. So after a good start, the wicket means that they're going to have to do a little bit of circumspective behaviour.
I think a quarter and a half is 75%. You're making it confusing here. This Lazard Williams.
It's a quarter of the game and half of the over. That's where I was trying to.
I understand. Lazard Williams, a full delivery on the stumps of Mohammad Rizwan, who just defends it out into the offside, and they go through for another single. 2003 was Mohammad Hafiz's debut.
Crikey.
Yeah.
That's 18 years?
Yeah, a good long time. So that's obviously not his T20 debut, because international T20s didn't exist back then. That's when he made ODI and Test debuts were both 2003. I think Chris Gale made his debut in 99, and we could see him come back like he always does for the World T20. And then he's made a debut in the 90s, who's still playing international cricket. Shahab Malik was another one who has not played for a couple of years now. Short delivery from Lazard Williams. Gets on the back foot, cuts it, and it ends up going over the cover boundary. Well, 1 bounce over the cover boundary for 4. He moves on to 5, moves on to 48.
No real danger in that bouncer there from Lazard Williams, and as he just leans back, does Fakhar Zaman, as he slaps it away up and over the cover region. And like you said, Chris, into the boundary, well-deserved 4.
Who in this bowling attack do you think is the wicket taker? Who's going to cause some issues at any point? This one strays down leg, but hits the pad of Fakhar Zaman, and so it won't be called a wide. Ends up being a dot delivery in the end. So 7 runs off that over, just like the first Lazard Williams over. Pakistan are 48 for 1 at the end of 6. End of the power play. Decent go of it.
For me, there's 2. There's one in Tabraiz Shamsi. And the other is we're just going to have to see how he goes. Vian Libber. I think Vian Libber will steal a wicket here. I just have this feeling if he gets a go, he's just going to, steal one somewhere here and there. Yeah. But more importantly, I think Tabraiz Shamsi is going to play a key role in today's game. I think when he does eventually get going, I think he's going to be that man.
We see the other spinner.
Tabraiz Shamsi is playing in this game, right?
Sorry?
Tabraiz Shamsi is playing in this game.
Yeah, he is. He's our number 11. We've seen none of him.
That's why I was panicking for a moment. I was like, maybe
he is in the 11, but South Africa might even be out there at 10 in the field because I have not seen Tabraiz Shamsi once. But he's on the piece of paper. George Linder is going to continue. He's coming left arm around the wickets into the right-handed Mohammad Rizwan. This one's just outside off stump, played into the covers, and they go through for a single.
We should start a hashtag and see if we can make a trend. Where is Tabraiz Shamsi, or like Tabraiz Shamsi missing, or missing persons report, but Tabraiz Shamsi? Because he didn't bat, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
And we haven't seen him walk out the field or...
Yeah, no, I haven't seen him once. I don't know where they're hiding him in the field.
And is that him? It is him.
I can't see him at the moment. George Linder comes in again. This one runs away to the point boundary and goes for another 4.
It looks like Tabraiz Shamsi. Was that Tabraiz Shamsi?
I think this might be other things. So I can see Fakhar Zaman, and I'm not going to confuse those two for one another.
Tabraiz Shamsi, is that you? It's like playing Where's Waldo, but there's only 20 people in the photo. Tweet us.
If you're watching it on TV, take a photo of Tabraiz Shamsi anytime you see him. Hashtag it Shamsi Watch.
Yes.
It comes in a wideish delivery, identical result to the previous one as it runs away to the point boundary. You could almost think it was a replay. 2 4s in a row. Zaman moves on to 13 off 7. Pakistan 57 for 1.
Yeah, that was too wide from George Linder, giving him too much space, giving the left-hander there too much width to play with. And like you said, he's just lashed it past point twice in a row now. Let's see how he goes for the third one.
George Linder's shoes match our kit a lot better than the T20I. Wrong jet green for what we're at the moment. This one's closer to the stumps. He can't catch it. He drives it and makes it no further than man color. That's going to be a dot.
Shout out to Puma for the loud wheels.
Big Puma sponsorships. They've got a lot of the best. Hamilton and Usain Bolt. Okay, this one on the wickets gets on one leg, bisects the fielders on the onside, and it runs away for another 4. So that's 13 off the over. Still wants a bowl after a very tight first over. I guess the batsmen who've just seen him out, they've now decided to take the attack to George Linder, and Fakhar Zaman looking dangerous right from the start,
as he has done. It's it reminds me of that Dinner for One sketch. Same procedures last year, same procedures every year.
Final delivery from George Linder. This one just on off stump. Fakhar Zaman's happy enough to get on the back foot, 100 to the mid-wickets, do the cover sweeper, the fielder on the offside, and they go through for a single. He'll hold on to the strike. He's on 18 of 10. We're on 27 of 19, and Pakistan just slightly ahead of South Africa. We're at the same stage. South Africa 55 after 7. Pakistan 62 for 1.
Yeah, absolutely. But the difference is Pakistan have 4 boundaries, 10 4s to South Africa's 7. There's 1-6 difference between the two. But towards the 16th over, with the loss of those 3 wickets late in the innings, that shifted South Africa's momentum into a more plateaued trajectory than escalating. But yes. Hashtag Shamsi Watch has come through. It's a 31-year-old left arm wrist spinner who's into the attack now.
There he is. They've snuck him onto the field.
Absolutely. And best of 4 for 25. And may he get 5 today.
He looked, very threatening throughout the CSA T20 challenge, but didn't do a huge amount in the ODIs. I mean, he was then rested or dropped, however you want to frame it, for the third ODIs. He's coming left arm to the man at point. I think that's Pat van Biljon, and that's a dot delivery.
He is also the number one T20 bowler in the world. I think he was at a point. He may have lost that distinction. It changes so frequently, but there we go. Yeah, it's still there. And South Africa's premier spinner at the moment. This one a little bit wider. Fakazama just gets on the back foot, plays it to Lazard Williams, who's sweeping on the offside boundary, and they go through for a single. So Mohammed Rizwan on strike. Absolutely. And don't forget to tweet us at Guerrilla SA, GUERILLASA. Eventually I'll learn how to spell it.
Yeah. 1 R, 2 L's. Because there's different ways of spelling guerrilla.
This is French, honestly.
I don't know what language it is, so
Guerrilla is French, is it not? No?
Sure, I don't know.
Let's see if we can Google it.
A couple of changes in the field for Mohammed Rizwan, who's right-handed, obviously. This one from Shamsi pitches on leg, turns enough that it ends up going down leg, and Rizwan just plays it to the man at short square leg, and it's a dot delivery.
So I stand corrected. Spanish.
That makes it. So I learned, I don't want to say recently because that makes me seem very stupid, but what language do you think sayonara? You know sayonara to mean goodbye?
Yeah, Japanese.
Japanese. I thought that was Spanish for the longest time. Same with, I thought head honcho had Spanish origins, but also Japanese origins. The fourth delivery from Shamsi goes into Mohammed Rizwan, who just sweeps it rapidly over the onside boundary, and that runs away for 4.
Okay. No, there is an alternative spelling where they use double R, double L.
Yeah.
So both are correct, but tweet us 1 R, 2 L's.
Yeah. Or let's find out if that other one even exists. Otherwise, I can start my own rival Guerrilla Cricket, leave you guys in the dust with 2 R's. Shamsi does fielding off his own bowling here. This one goes just slightly down leg. It's played into the onside, and Shamsi sprints after it, and it ends up being a single in the end. So 6 off the over so far, 1 left to bowl. Pakistan 68 for 1. Fakhar Zaman will be on strike.
1 ball left in the 8th as Tabraiz Shamsi has gone for 6 from this first over of his. Can he pick up a wicket here with the last ball of the over?
My instincts say no, but I've also got a cricket first scorecard open as this last delivery is just played into the offside for a dot. Elsewhere in the world, there's the IPL over, but the 3 for 4 after 13 and a half overs, with Faf du Plessis, the one South African there, going for a duck of 3 deliveries.
Oh boy. Well, if he doesn't perform there, hopefully he does. Just having a look at the ICC T20 bowlers, and full of spinners. Tabraiz Shamsi, Rashid Khan, Ashton Agar, Adil Rashid, Mujib ul Rahman. Spinners for days. Spinners for days. So,
And when the fast bowlers crack that top 10, it's always the bowlers with lots of variations. It's never just a fast bowler. Mustafa Zahraman for a long time was the best fast bowler, and he was basically just an off-spin bowler who bowled 130s. It's off-cutter after off-cutter after off-cutter. But he could bowl those off-cutters that didn't slow down. There weren't any slows in his normal deliveries. So Sandra Magala back into the attack for the 9th over. This one, again, it's carrying on where he left off, unfortunately. Very far down leg. And that's another wide.
Oh, baby, it's a wide ball. He wants to bowl.
Get as much time on camera as he can. And unfortunately, another wide there.
Mpau's probably sweeping into his tee.
Talking about cricket rankings, I was looking up the women's ODI rankings, and Australia obviously are number 1, but And just called the 24th consecutive TI win today. So Mangala, and again, might be a run out. Okay, so he was into one. It was one of those things where batsman plays straight back at him. He just gets a finger onto it and then hits the non-striker's stumps. We'll have to see if Fakhazaman was in his crease or not. They've gone upstairs, but the batsman seems satisfied enough that Zaman was in.
What do you think, Chris?
It's a terrible way to go out, but also very funny when you're the bowling side.
Now we're just seeing some of the replays. Ed Mockram, get out the way, man. You're blocking the camera. But it looks like That's
grounded. That's grounded a few frames before those bails light up.
Hoping for 69 to be our lucky number this afternoon. Alas, not so. Okay. But
without getting too blue, it's a lot better when it is 69 for 2 rather than the current 69 for 1.
You want us to get banned? This is how we get banned.
This is how Simon comes back on. And
yeah, it's like, whoa.
Talks about cultures and like a cold shower, that culture chat.
And 122 win for Pakistan.
My stream froze for a little bit there, but I got to see Sasana Magala's third delivery, second legitimate delivery of the over, was just played to the long arm fielder, and they go through for another single.
Just did a bit of a wobbly seam from that last one, bit of inward shape, but he was hoping that it would swing in and then nip off the seam pointed to first slip, but well covered there by the Pakistani opener. And watchful there.
Okay, and I went to live and I didn't get to see exactly what happened, but Sasana Magala bowled another wide because I've seen.
Now you're jumping ahead of me. What's going on here?
I just clicked live on my stream. Just because my stream's stammered. But yeah, second wide. And after we were praising Pakistan for bowling so few extras, South Africa aren't quite able to do the same.
Let me see if I can try and sync up with you once again. But you talked about the discipline with extras. And I mean, Chris, it is a cardinal sin to bowl as many extras as we have. We saw that South Africa were far more disciplined in times gone past, but this is not great.
Third legitimate delivery just outside the off stump of Fakhazaman. He gets on the back foot, dabs it to the field at a short third man, but there's no run there. That's the shot we were calling the Verena during the ODIs, because that's how he was getting all of his runs. It was just dab, dab, dab.
Oh, so it's not the traditional dab.
Oh, that's finally got it into into your age bracket, Dave.
How dare you?
Found out about
How dare you?
It's a lovely on drive from Fakhazaman. They'll go through for a single. They move on to 72 for 1. I wanted to, I know you're not much older than me. No. As long as but I'm feeling old and old all the time. So as long as people are older than me, I'm going to be rude about that fact.
I think you, is it you or is it Tsepo, who's the youngest within guerrilla cricket? Tsepo?
Yeah.
I don't feel like Tsepo.
Tsepo's ancient. Tsepo's, I think, 2 years older than me. He's a 95 baby.
Ah, okay. So we don't have any 2000s yet.
No. So, we're now older than our youngest commentators are older than a lot of international cricketers.
Absolutely.
This fifth legitimate delivery from Magala, Mohammad Rizwan just sweeps it into the onside and they go through for a single. Pakistan 73 for 1. And
unconventional shot there.
The non-wide deliveries in this over have been very economical. It's .1.11.
When he's not bowling wides.
We've got Simon to tell us to behave. He's back on the stream. I don't know if that's what he's here for.
Oh dear.
Final delivery from Sasana Magala just outside the bat of Fakhazaman. He tries to play it over the keeper, doesn't touch it, goes through time bottom. So after 9 overs, Pakistan 73 for 1.
Our youngest bloke at the moment is Root, who just started. He's 16, 17. We could keep a batsman for Pirates, I think.
I think so.
Good to know that the bloody young players.
Yeah.
We're giving the youngster a run, a debut of that information. Apparently, South African bowlers, he's gone for 5.5 from his spell.
Shamsi, again, swept over onside boundary by Mohammad Rizwan, and that's gone away for 4. Rizwan moves on to 38. Pakistan on to 77 for 1 after just 9.1 overs.
Valiant
and unless South Africa, unless we get a wicket soon, I think these two could get Pakistan pretty much there by themselves.
Yeah, I don't. Based on Pakistan's batting lineup, the key for South Africa was wickets early, and they haven't been able to do that. And so these two are putting these youngsters to the sword here. And I think Tabraiz Shamsi is a victim of a young bowling attack.
The second delivery of the over, Mohammad Rizwan, it turned a fair bit, but Rizwan had no trouble with it. He defended until the offside, and there was a very scrambled single made off of that one.
See, I think it's difficult for Tabraiz Shamsi to strike when he's the one having to contain, because other than Bjorn Hendricks, no one's really contained these two.
And again, Fakhar Zaman just sweeps this one, and it runs to the square leg boundary, and Dile Petlakaya does the fielding, and that's just a single.
Yeah, it's time there.
I think the middle order maybe doesn't have accumulator batsmen, but they've got a lot of players that can score quickly if they need. Haider Ali, who missed out on the ODI series, where Sarfraz Ahmed was picked ahead of him in that final ODI, is a player who can bat very quickly. We've obviously seen what Hassan Ali can do. And then, run rate probably won't be an issue later on with those guys in the batting lineup. Shamsi bowling now the fourth delivery of a second over. Rizwan comes down the pitch, just defends it into the offside. They go for just a single. They think about 2, but are happy to settle for the single. And that's 80 up now for Pakistan.
Yeah, just came down the wicket, but the ball didn't quite go down the line that he was hoping for. And there's a couple of words there between Shamo and the Pakistan right-handed Rizwan.
Sure, the contact. Someone's going to get some. Oh no, they hug afterwards, so there probably won't be any points. This one is just swept beautifully onto those wooden stands. The cheap seats where I'm normally sitting when we're allowed to go, and that's 6 runs. Pakistan move on to 86 for 1. Fakhar Zaman goes to 27 off 18, and overs looking a little bit expensive. 13 off 5 so far.
He's absolutely smoked that. Tabraiz Shamsi over pitching there, and too easy for the left-handers. He just throws the kitchen sink at that one and hitting. I think it hit the scoreboard, or did it hit right on top of the
just to the right of the scoreboard,
open east stands? Just having a look there at the replay. In the trees.
We need a new. I don't know how they could have possibly gotten the same ball back that quickly. This one launched